Oh.
So whatever that's going to be. I mean, it should be interesting, but. Oh, actually, like oh yeah, the other game that they showed off was Silent Hill F or Silent Hill Forte, which a lot of people were saying because the F symbol stands for Forte.
Yeah.
And that's like it's gonna be set in Japan, 1960s Japan. It's written by the same guy that did the Higurashi series, Umineko series. If you're into the visual novels and the anime and stuff, it's actually a really good fit for Silent Hill.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but okay.
It's a good. It's like a thriller slash horror, like psychological horror anime like series. It's like really good. And it fits really well with Silent Hill, so I have good faith in that. That's actually the game I'm looking forward to the most from that transmission, because it looked really cool. And then of course people were saying, well, why is it called Silent Hill if it takes place in Japan and it's not in Silent Hill, so it shouldn't be Silent Hill game?
Yeah.
But
because they love. I'm convinced that it's impossible to make Silent Hill fans happy about anything ever at all.
yeah. Same thing with Resident Evil or any fandom. It seems. I guess we'll get into Resident Evil here in a little bit because I've actually seen nothing but good things about the RE4 remake stuff.
Yeah, except for the dog.
Oh, when it comes to the dog, I was thinking that could be just some random other dog, because I doubt they're gonna do something that cruel and have that dog die so early in the game.
That would be heartbreaking.
Yeah.
If you didn't save the dog in Resident Evil 4, you're a monster.
Yeah, like, but even if you do, I guess even if you do speed runs, you gotta save that dog.
Yeah.
You lose like a second, whatever. You gotta at least save it.
Yeah, he's a good boy. Dog's a good boy.
And it helps you later in the game. It's also the same dog from Haunting Ground. Literally the same texture and everything, like for the dog and stuff.
I've never played Haunting Ground.
It's really good. It's a really good, underrated survival horror game. And it's too bad it's like a fucking $400 game now. If you want to buy it legitimately, because there's literally no other way to get it. It's a shit show. It's ridiculous. I don't know how it's gonna get any better anytime soon. Honestly, especially for horror games. That's yeah, because Haunting Ground doesn't have any other, because there's no remaster, there's no port. Well, in Japan it was on the PS3 store apparently, only in Japan. But there's no other way outside of emulating to play it, so.
That's such a shame.
It's basically Clock Tower 4 when you think about it. It's a spiritual successor to the Clock Tower series. Yeah, like just having the stalker enemy mechanics, and you can use your dog. The dog follows you throughout the game. You can actually there's actually endings tied to how you treat your dog.
Treat your dog good, damn it.
But you can pet the dog. You can actually like talk down to the dog if you want to, like say bad boy and stuff. And that actually affects the ending of the game. And it's the same dog from RE4 as well, because it came out the same year. It's a really good game. They really need to at least remaster the damn thing and have it available for modern audiences without them having to emulate the goddamn thing. But yeah, I guess that's it for the Silent Hill stuff, because that's basically it, really. I mean, there's like merchandise and stuff, but
yeah, I really want the piggy bank that is the dog ending of Silent Hill 2.
Yeah,
I really want
that. That was like one of the highlights of the entire thing for me. When I saw that, I was like, "Holy shit! I want to get that so bad, but it's gonna be like $400 or some shit."
Yeah,
I bet.
Probably. I want it though. I'm not gonna pay that much for it, but I want it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that. There's Pyramid Head. There's Nurse. There's Maria. There's also like skateboard things, and like and Eileen's head from SH4. I mean, was on one of them. It was kind of cool to see that reference thrown in there. Yeah. But other than that, that was about it for Silent Hill stuff. And that was on well at the time of recording, that was on Wednesday. and yesterday was the Resident Evil showcase.
Which I have not gotten the chance to watch yet, and I will watch it.
Oh, yeah?
But I've seen some gameplay of it, and it looks gorgeous.
It's, oh my god, it looks so sick. Like, I mean, like they got everything down to a T. Like, I mean, the village is pretty spot on. It's basically like almost like a 1-to-1 remake or a 1-to-1 of the original game. How the village is laid out and stuff, and like they showed the entire, not the entire village fight, but they showed a good portion of it. Like Dr. Salvador and his new creepy ass look. He looks a lot creepier than the original game. That's for sure.
Yeah, I remember playing it for the first time and just running from that guy. The very first time you encounter him, you can encounter 2 of them in the village.
Yeah, like before you trigger before you go into the house and trigger the cutscene and stuff, you can actually go up to where the farm door is to like the farm or whatever, and you can actually find Dr. Salvador there, and if you kill him, you get a ruby. He drops a ruby, which is worth like 10,000 pesetas.
Don't do that on your first playthrough. But when you got more powerful weapons and ammo and shit, on your repeat playthrough, go ahead and kill him. Last time I tried to kill Dr. Salvador, I fucking ran out of time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was But yeah, the remake looks really good. I cannot wait. Like they showed off all kinds of new stuff. Like they showed off the parry mechanic. There's a new parry mechanic with your knife you can do when an enemy's about to attack you. Kind of like in Dark Souls in a way.
That's pretty cool.
And like the knife has durability. You can actually upgrade the knife because they showed off the merchant, and the merchant's almost exactly the same in terms of appearance and the voice as well.
God, awesome!
You didn't see that yet. Yeah, yeah, because they showed the first encounter and they showed the new like merchant menu and stuff. And you can actually there's a new thing where you can trade like jewels for like certain items and stuff. That was pretty cool to see.
The attaché case is back.
Yeah, they showed the attaché case and they showed the new crafting system. It's cool to see all the new modern like additions to the game. I'm glad that it's not just a straight 1-to-1 remake, which some people like. I don't know, like the Resident Evil fan base is weird with that shit. Like they want everything to be exactly the same, and it's kind of annoying. But what do you expect?
I'm hoping that they don't downplay too much Leon's snark in the original.
Oh yeah, and it's funny you say that because in the gameplay, the gameplay footage, there's one point where he makes like one-liners and like quirks and shit like that. During like running around shooting stuff, like I think the one thing he said was like, "I'll bill you for the damage later," because he shoots down this like lamp that like sets this cow on fire, and the cow like runs into the villagers. It's kind of cool actually. It's like a new thing in the game.
Yeah, I hope they don't tone down Leon being a smart ass and whatnot. Because I love that in the original. Your hand comes off.
Your right hand comes off.
No,
I think that's definitely going to be there.
Bro. I love that Leon. It's awesome.
Yeah, just judging from what I've seen so far, it looks like it's going to be like a mix between him being serious and him being like like his former, like his original self and stuff, like making lines like that. Like I think there's definitely a balance between that because I've noticed that the game looks a lot like scarier than the original. They're definitely gonna put more horror elements into the game, which is really cool to see. Because they also showed off a new trailer, and the trailer shows off Salazar. It shows off Luis more, it shows Ada. It shows some new stuff. Like Ashley holding a gun and she's like possessed by the Las Plagas. And she's aiming at somebody.
I'll have to watch it later. I just haven't had a chance to yet, it's all. I'm excited to.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Apparently RE-verse is still a thing.
Yeah, because yeah, they had a new trailer for that, and they expanded on it a little bit more. They have a new map and like some new mechanics and stuff.
I mean,
the last time
I'm
I played
surprised
this beta.
it still exists, you know?
Like, I guess they're kind of forced to do it at this point, just so that way they don't get sued. Because I guess it was like because it's a free game that comes with Village.
Yeah, it was supposed to come with Village, and
That
Village
came out
launched what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah. May of last year. So I played 2 different betas, and there's a new beta coming out in a couple of days for the final RE verse, like the actual one that's gonna come out finally. Thank freaking God, I guess. So somebody's saying that out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna
Is it
play.
be
I'm gonna
like
play
the
it.
last time they tried a multiplayer RE thing. Whatever.
Like Umbrella Corps. Umbrella Corps.
No, the one that came with the remake.
Oh, 3 make. Oh, Resistance. Yeah.
Yeah,
That actually wasn't that bad, because at least I was trying to be a Resident Evil multiplayer experience. I didn't play too much of it, honestly, and I wish I would have played more when it was active. But like, it was cool because like you're with a group of survivors, you got to find keys to unlock doors, and you fight zombies, and the other person on the other team, or there's like one person plays the mastermind, and they like spawn zombies and monsters to try and stop the survivors.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of a cool idea, and it was fun to play. A lot. It was better than Umbrella Corps and like those type of multiplayer games.
Yeah, I heard Umbrella Corps kind of sucked.
I put in over 30 hours into that game. I did get my enjoyment out of it, surprisingly. But it does suck. Trust me.
Like in Operation Raccoon City.
And yeah, I was. Oh my god, I was so hyped for that game at the time. I did play the shit out of it at the time on my 360, but it definitely is not the greatest. It's better than Umbrella Corps, but the online was fun at least. Yeah. I mean, it's always fun playing with friends, and like really anything really. So.
Can't you kill Leon in that one?
That was one of those like what if type of games, those non-canon things. Like at the end of the game, you can choose to spare his life or kill him, and it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like a cheap gimmick almost. To get you to play the game. I mean, it was enjoyable, but I don't know, it just wasn't that polished either. It was kind of janky. Because it was made by the same developer that did like the SOCOM games, I think. Or some of the SOCOM games.
The area for weapons and
SOCOM
ammo.
wasn't
There's
a bad
no telling when that thing
it's like,
will return.
yeah.
You, contact HQ. Have
I can't remember. I think it was like the developer. I don't know, because I don't know much about SOCOM, honestly. I don't know if the same developer did all the games. I just know that they did like at least 1 or 2 of the SOCOM games. The Slant 6 Studios or whatever they're called.
Here, this ought to make your hyper blaster a little more useful in tight spots. Shit. Can't talk right now. I'm a little busy right now.
Okay.
Damn, what a mess! That tower guardian tore through us like a tornado of knives. All
Let me guess, I gotta kill him, right?
Fire in the data storage tower. What now?
I think so.
Greetings, Corporal Rhodes. You must locate the security interfaces.
Yeah.
There is one at the top of each tower that must be disabled to gain access to the core. But be careful, only Corporal Kane can
Did they show off
access them.
anything besides RE-verse and
Will do, Rhodes out.
the
RE4
Man,
remake?
let's find that security
They started the show with the RE Village DLC stuff, like the Shadow Rose campaign and the Mercenaries stuff. Like, it's stuff we already know about, and it wasn't really anything new. They kind of started off with that, then they went into... I think they went into the Nintendo Switch cloud versions of Village, RE2 and RE3, and RE7 as well.
It's just like, why cloud version?
Because I think I think it doesn't work too well when you with an actual like hard download version of the game. That's my only thing I can think of. It just won't run that well. Because I actually did the demo of Village. There's a demo for the cloud version of Village, and it wasn't too bad actually.
Yeah,
It's just
that's how I see Switch players react every single time a cloud version gets like, oh god, why?
Because it's like, I mean, because I guess the Switch isn't really that powerful. I mean, especially at this point with how the newer games are coming out recently.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to port like current games to the Switch now.
Yeah, it's only gonna get harder over time. Like, it's kind of a miracle that they got like Doom working on this thing.
Yeah. 2016. Like Nintendo's always been behind when it comes to like the hardware itself. They're always about like the whole gimmick of what the console itself can do. Like, oh, it has
except for the GameCube.
the GameCube was the hardware itself was better than the PS2, from what I understand.
Yeah, better than the PS2, not quite at the level of
The Xbox OG.
Xbox. Yeah, the Xbox was a beast of a console in its day.
Oh yeah.
I like the original Xbox. It had a lot of good games on it.
It has a lot of charm.
Oh man!
I think, yeah, like
It's
games
incredible.
today.
Would you look at all this?
And it's not. I mean, if you bothered to explore its library beyond just this is my Halo machine, you know,
Yeah.
it actually
I
had
can
some
see
good
my house from
titles.
here.
Some good ports like Half-Life 2. Yeah, Half-Life 2 is a good port on it.
Yeah,
Let's get you that
it's
security
amazing
interface
that they
on
got
top
that
of this
to
tower.
work at all.
Yeah, because that came out like during when the 360 came out that year when that port came out.
Yeah, it's also kind of amazing that they got Doom 3 working on it too.
Yeah, that was how I first played that game too. That was a good port.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, there's no point in playing it now because you have better ports. You got the PC version runs on a fucking potato at this point, but at the time, yeah, it was a very good port. Although I think you lost Super Turbo Turkey Puncher in that version.
Oh, then it sucks. Then it's an awful port. You can't not have that game.
I spent more time than I'd like to admit punching turkeys in that.
Yeah. Because you get in a good rhythm and get a lot of points.
Yeah. I fucking loved Super Turbo Turkey Puncher. It's literally just stand there as Doom Guy and punch turkeys, and that's all it is.
Yeah. Super Turbo Turkey Puncher 3. I wonder what the other two games were.
Yeah, makes you wonder.
Damn.
Let's see what you're made of, freak.
I like how all my recommended channels on the side of Twitch. Apparently, Sasha Grey, the ex-porn star, is playing Dead Space for 3,000 people. Like,
I didn't even know she was on Twitch.
Yeah, she's like a streamer now or something.
Also, Dead Space is awesome, and the
speaking
Dead
of
Space remake looks really fucking good.
Hell yeah, it does. I actually didn't see the recent stuff, but from what I've seen before, it looks really good. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. But it's not the horror fans are eating good, man.
There's a lot of shit coming out. Like of course, Dead Space remake, like you said. There's Callisto Protocol, which is essentially like a de facto Dead Space 4 in a way.
Yeah, it's like a spiritual successor to Dead Space from the people that developed Dead Space, and it looks awesome.
I can't wait for that either. I think I actually pre-ordered that on Steam because I'm definitely going to play that when it comes out.
One that I don't think is getting the attention that I think it probably should is Alone in the Dark.
Yeah,
Alone
I was about
in the
to
Dark
say,
looks
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I think a lot of people forgot about that announcement and that trailer and stuff. Because, I mean, that's kind of like, that's the OG, like, survival horror series.
Yeah,
So
it laid the ground, it walked so Resident Evil could run, so to speak, it very much laid the groundwork for what Resident Evil would be. And Resident Evil just straight up, I mean, the moment you play Resident Evil 1, the first Alone in the Dark feels dated. But,
Yeah.
so it's dated as hell by today's standards, but it still deserves, at minimum, respect for what it accomplished.
Yeah, it was definitely ahead of its time at the time. Because, I mean, just thinking about the fact that came out in 1992 and it looked the way it does, like, at the time, I mean, it's
How
kind
many
of
fully
really
3D
impressive.
games were you getting in 1992, honestly?
Yeah. Especially like that. I mean, that's where the fixed camera comes into play, because it's like you can do a lot more. Because a lot of the backgrounds are pre-rendered, or if not all of them. So like that way, all the resources can go into just all the objects on the screen, like the characters and the enemies, and same thing with Resident Evil.
Yeah. So, it looks to me like this is getting the love that the series deserves, the respect that it deserves, being the originator of survival horror. And I know there was Sweet Home, but Sweet Home is an RPG, not survival horror. Still an inspiration, but...
Yeah. Because if anything needs a remake, it's definitely the first Alone in the Dark. I just wonder how close it's going to be to the original, because I never beaten the original, but
Lieutenant Morris, this is Cortez. Do you read me?
I think it's fairly far in it. I think
It's on,
it's on like
get it
GOG.
on GOG. You can get 1, 2, and 3 on GOG, as well as New Nightmare. Which New Nightmare was the last time that the series was treated with like a modicum of respect. It still has its problems. Don't get me wrong, but compare it to the shit fest that was the 2008?
Yeah.
The
reboot.
In the Dark? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was shit fest.
Since New Nightmare, we've gotten 2 shitty games and 1 shitty movie.
And also a shitty multiplayer game that nobody remembers. I think Alone in the Dark Illumination, I think it was called.
Yeah, that was the second shitty game, I think.
It's nothing but shitty games, shitty reboots. It's about time we get something, good. I mean, I hope it's good.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Beyond that, we're getting there's going to be a new Alan Wake, which I haven't played that series, but
I haven't either, so I really need to.
I've heard good things. But we're getting a new Alan Wake.
System Shock remake, of course.
Yeah, System Shock. I was going to say that. I'm going to bring that one up because I am excited for that. Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah. That's also another one that definitely needs a remake, because the original System Shock is pretty outdated, I would say, in terms of the interface and in terms of how you control everything.
Even the enhanced version of it with the more standard keyboard and mouse setup still feels good.
Yeah.
It's a lot more playable.
Yeah. I think I got about halfway in the game, and then my save file got fucked up. But I mean, once you get the hang of how the game works, you can get into it. It's a lot of fun. But it definitely needs a remake, and it's a good thing that I think they're almost done finally, because this is another one of those games like Scorn that came out recently, where it's been in development forever, like since like what 2015 or 16 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Like it was slated to come out originally. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and at this point I'm not even sure it will.
Yeah, really.
Fuck, I'm almost dead. I'm dead. But yeah, it's taken forever for that shit to come out. But it does look very, very good.
Yeah. I definitely can't wait for that. So
we're getting lots of awesome horror content.
It's a really good time to be a horror game fan. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Especially for me, and I've always been a huge fan of horror games, and
You and me both, dude. I fucking love a good horror game.
An evac unit is en route.
Obviously, how many of them have I played on the channel at this point?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And with plans to play more in the future. Well, the next two won't be horror games, but I've also done some streaming from horror games, which I streamed through Resident Evil 3 remake after playing the Dreamcast version of Resident Evil 3. I don't know, man. I enjoyed it.
The remake you mean?
Yeah, it was a fun playthrough. Like, I know there are some things you missed from the original, like the live choice.
Yeah. I think that was one of the biggest. That was one of the biggest things I missed from the
There are two things in particular that I missed from the original. One of them is the live choice system. The other one is the chapel area.
Yeah, the clock tower section. Yeah.
I mean, I could do with or without the worm boss.
Oh, Gravedigger, yeah. Because it's kind of funny because in RE3 there's really no bosses other than Nemesis, other than the Gravedigger boss. The only boss in the game is Nemesis.
Yeah, and does removing Gravedigger from the game change the story at all?
No, because he just shows up randomly in the fucking the park section of the game, and then you kill him, he dies. Well, no, he does show up earlier in the game actually. I just remember. He shows up right before you get in the cable car because you fall down into the sewers or whatever, and you gotta turn on 2 switches, and he attacks you and stuff. But
yeah, that's the first time he shows up, and then he shows up at the graveyard. And then he shows up at the park, which the remake kind of cut the park out as well.
It also cut out the waste disposal facility at the end of the game as well. It cut out 3 sections in a row, which a lot of people don't mention. They only mention the clock tower, but it cuts out the other 2 sections right after it as well. Nobody seems to give a shit about that for some reason. Because I guess in RE3 remake, of course, you go into Nest, you go into the laboratory again from RE2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but RE3 remake's really good, honestly. I really like RE3.
It was a lot of fun, and I see so many people. One of the common complaints I see is that Nemesis is scripted. Like, how recently have you played the original game? Because he was scripted as shit in that one too, and there's more like specific scripted moments than him just scripting to show up, like he was in the original.
Yeah.
Like, he starts off with the chase sequence that's very scripted. Because you're running from him. And they do that more than once.
Yeah, I just think that people, I guess after playing RE2 Remake, a lot of people thought that Nemesis was going to operate under the same type of mechanics as Mr. X in RE2 Remake, and he didn't, and I guess a lot of people really didn't like that, because I guess it just got their hopes up like usual with these things. I mean, I think it would be. It would be cool if it was like that. If a Nemesis was like Mr. X, at the same time. I mean, oh well.
Yeah, and a lot of people point to he can show Nemesis can show up randomly. It didn't happen very often, but he could show up randomly. And a lot of times when he did that, it was fucking annoying, because he would just hop right in front of you in a narrow hallway, and you'd have no choice but to take a punch, because he's in between you and your goal.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's not fun, that's annoying.
We've taken heavy casualties and need an evac at the bridge.
Especially if you're low on heals or something, and haven't saved in a while, or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I almost got...
What the hell with? There's only 2 of us left. Do the best you can, Scorpion.
I almost got... I was afraid I was going to get soft locked or something in Resident Evil because I was down to, I was in the clock tower area and I got down to just one fucking healing item and it was a basic ass
Green herb.